It is the Flow Friday Night Sports Show, and our next guest is, well, in isolation. That's probably the best way of putting it. She's copped the big C. Joining us on the line is Joe Franklin. How are you holding up, buddy?
Oh, yeah, ISO is fantastic.
Oh, it's not. No.
Anyway,
Terrible stuff. So it's your turn to get the dreaded spicy cough. You feeling okay?
Yeah, no, we're doing all right. Doing okay.
All
Doing
right.
okay.
Well, you're battling away. I don't know if I should be wearing a mask while I'm talking to you or not. I don't think I can travel down the phone line.
I know. No, I don't think. I think you're fairly safe. I think you're fairly safe, Jay. We'll see how we go.
We will. Let's talk about Great Flinders Netball. We've got netball galore to talk about, so we'll see how we go. Let's have a look at Great Flinders Netball from last weekend, and we'll start with Tumby Bay. They did a little bit of a number on Elliston Districts in the end, beat them 39-26. Good win for the Blues.
Yes, it was a good win for the Blues. And, again, Ilka Stone and Sarah Laurie, very impressive in goals for Tumby Bay. And Summer Cave had a fantastic first half on the Elliston goalies. It just seemed, as we sort of say every week, about how awesome the two defenders are in Kelsey Hull and Nikki Schubert, Elliston Districts, but they just did not get their mojo happening. But that does not surprise me when you're up against an Ilka Stone who just moves non-stop for the whole 4 quarters, and once she gets the ball, you know it's going to go through the ring. So, Tumby were really... there was a couple of quarters there where Elliston were in it. They actually didn't get off to a very good start. So that sort of really affected them. And then they reined it in a little bit. And then the last quarter, Tumby Bay really did take it away. So a good win, and Tumby Bay would be very happy with that. Elliston District will pop that one away and work on the next time they meet Tumby Bay, I think.
Yep, no doubt. So good win for the Blues. Let's head to Carcoo next, where Locke came down the highway just a little bit this time, only a little road trip for the Locke crew, and they were successful. They would have loved this win against their neighbours, 51-39. Yeah,
they're very happy. And goalers, again, Lisa Burrows, very accurate, which was the difference in the game, really. United Jelena just didn't have the accuracy that they had the week before, and just struggled to get it together for the 4 quarters, really, whereas Locke were able to put it together for 4 quarters and really run away with that win. Quite a substantial win, really, when we were sort of talking about the fact that it could have been quite a close game, and that it actually would tell us where Locke and United Jelena are at this stage of the season, and it would appear as if Locke are doing that much better than United Jelena at the moment.
Not at the moment, no. We'll see how they go towards the end of the year, but 12 goals is nothing in senior netball terms, so you're exactly right. We finish off by having a look at the mighty Cougar machine, which just keeps on keeping on. They got hold of Ramblers on the weekend, 69-19. Whoa!
Yeah, they did, and they were even able to change their goalies around. In the end, they had Ruby and Hannah Green in goals. For Ramblers, it just didn't get any easier. Unfortunately, they were missing a couple as well. Kapini, their centre court, is, as we have been talking about each week, so strong, but they were actually able to have a change around in there as well. They were able to rest a couple, and they were able to bring in Billy Thompson for another game in there, and she stood up. So, Cummins, Kapini, Cougars are certainly looking the goods to go back-to-back, I would think.
Let's have a look to this week's games in Great Flinders. We'll get your tips on it, and then we'll move to Eastern Eyre. Elliston Districts take on Ramblers at Minnipa. They're heading up to Minnipa, and I think the home side might just bounce back.
I think they will. For Ramblers, it just doesn't get any easier, and the fact that you have to also do the road trip to Minnipa, which will be the first for Ramblers, I think, but... Look, there's no doubt they'll be well catered for up there. They do a fantastic job. There's no question about that. But Elliston Districts will be at full strength, and they certainly have worked at training on getting 4 quarters together and making sure that their accuracy in goals is, although Courtney Hull did quite well last week, but Kate's hoping that both her goalies can be accurate this week and that she can settle them down in there, and that their defenders get their feet moving again and can get on top. But look, for the Ramblers defenders, Paige Darlitz and Caitlin Haasma, it is just going to be a very difficult day at the office. And at the other end, for their goalies, the height of Elliston Districts and the strength is just going to be very telling, I think.
We head to Lock now, where the Roos, they get to go back home and they will welcome Ayr United up the highway. And I think the Lock crew will start favourite here. Ayr United are not far away, though.
Look, Lock will probably start favourite, but Ayr United actually have a full side. And they had a bye last week, so they've rested up and assures me that they are going up there to put a win on the board and that they're hoping to put 4 quarters together, because it really has just been one quarter and not a consistent quarter. Like, it's not always been the second or the third. It's just an odd quarter here and there that they lose that has cost them a game. They've had a couple of close ones. They've also had a couple that were so close, but they're really hoping to take it up to Lock. But look, Lock would be riding on last week's win. There's no question about that. I'm sure that they wouldn't have thought that they would have beaten Atlanta by as much as what they did. And they will be hoping that their goalers can remain accurate and will take away this win. But they're not taking Ayr United too lightly, because it's a whole new look Ayr United side. So, it will be very interesting to see what does happen in this game.
Right. Well, that leaves us to the last game, which is at Carcoo again, and this time it's Cougars. A little short road trip for them coming up the highway to the Cooplex. They'll get the points here against the Eagles, but I'll be very interested to see the scores in this one.
Yeah, United Gillette are a little bit like Ramblers. It doesn't get any easier when you've come off of a loss and then you've got to meet Cougars. They're going to be a very, very tough call. And the 2 young goalies from United Gillette are really going to know that they played a game. Mind you, having said that, the Cougars defenders, young Molly Burns and Holly Gale, are at the same age virtually as what the 2 goalers are, in Elsie Madden and Abby Cash. So that'll be a very interesting match up there. Those girls have played in association sides over the last weekend, so they've had plenty of netball, but Cougars centre court will be far too strong here, and their goalies will be way too accurate, way too quick, way too strong, unfortunately for United Gillette.
All right, let's have a look now to Eastern Eyre Netball, and if we go back to the A-grade matches from last Saturday. Well, you've got the bragging rights, Joe, but only just in the A-grade. Cow beat Ports.
Yes, they did, and it was only 4 goals. Look, Cow had 3 out, but they were lucky enough to be able to get Ashley Francis to fill in for them in goals, and I think that probably, it was the difference. It was a pretty handy pick-up in there, and she's quite an accurate goalie. Ports, and unfortunately for Ports, they had their goaler pull out at the last minute on Saturday morning, and so therefore they also then their other goalie, young Lauren, she had to come off during the third quarter. So unfortunately for Chloe, she had to have her best defender in goals all day, which really did affect them at that end and allowed Cow to get those extra few goals through and win that game 36-32.
That's a good win for the Cowgirls, but my poor old Ports crew, they'll keep on trying.
They will, and yes, had COVID not struck, I was heading up there tonight to help them out with a little bit, but unfortunately it's been postponed.
The other game, Central United, they took on the Eastern Rangers, gave a very good account of themselves, the Central United Storm Girls, but in the end, the Rangers pulled away to win by 8, 39-31. I tell you what, though, they're around about the mark, this Central United crew.
Yep. Both teams were actually just about at full strength. Well, Eastern Rangers were. Central United, they had Reagan missing, which is, a relatively big out for them. They their defence line, according to Kelly Richo, was very, very good, very strong, really strong on the rebounds, and it made it pretty hard work for Lauren and Nick, which is the first time that they've had that issue. But, Central United not far off the mark. Eastern Rangers wanting to put 4 quarters together. Kelly was saying they just haven't been able to do that over the last couple of weeks, and she's a bit concerned about that. But Azika very happy with her girls. 8 goals against, a side like Eastern Rangers at full strength. She's pretty happy with that.
Let's move on and have a look at this round of matches in Kimber. Interesting game, this one. The Central Air United Storm crew have the weekend off. They have the bye. And Kimber will do the hosting this week with, I think, Ports coming up the highway. So you'd think the home side there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Look, Ports will work hard. There's no question about that. They will get a couple of players back for this week's game, but Kimber will be way too strong, I would think.
And let's then move our attention to what's happening at Cow. I think they're playing at Cow. Eastern Rangers heading up the highway to Cow.
Yeah, they are. And look, this, unfortunately for Cow, isn't going to be really good because Eastern Rangers are at full strength, and so they will struggle, I think, against the height of Eastern Rangers. And so we quickly do lock.
Let's have a look at it. Oh, you poor thing. So, on of all weeks to have some extra to talk about, we've got the Eyre Regional Carnival at Lock, commonly known around the EP as the Lock Carnival. That's how everyone knows it. So, seniors, 17s, 15s and 13s all travel up the highway from all different parts of the EP for this one. And Great Flinders and Eastern Eyre, these two associations did really well throughout all the grades.
Yeah, well, they did. Great Flinders won the seniors. They beat Eastern Eyre in the final, actually quite easily in the end, which was a bit of a surprise to them because Eastern Eyre during the round, they only beat them by a goal. So they're pretty happy with that. Great Flinders also won the 13 Div 1s and the 13 Div 2s. They won the 15 Div 2s. And Ella, Wed, Jack Green and Morgan McDonald made the top 10, so they're pretty happy with that. Eastern Eyre, as I said, would run us up in the seniors, in a couple of other grades as well. I've got a feeling it might have been the 13 Div 2s. Runner-up, they were runner-up in the seniors. And Charlie Harris, Jordan Hooper and Saran Shippard got into the top 10. So 3 from each of the 2 teams that played in the grand final, which is what you would probably expect. Port Lincoln also had quite a good day. We won the 17 Div 1s, the 15 Div 1s, and Bookmore and Carly Sargent made the top 10. So, all in all, and I just want to say a huge thank you to Emma Brewster and Daisy Mosby, who represented Port Lincoln in running the carnival and did a wonderful job in my absence. We're very, very proud and very pleased with the day that they were able to organise and run, and to all the parents who helped out on the day, the coaches, the umpires, the managers. It was a fantastic day for everybody, and we look forward to moving on to country champs.
Well, yes, country champs are the next cap off the rank. We will talk about them in the future. Hopefully, when Joe Franklin is on the road to recovery, you poor thing, you've battled through gamefully. Absolute legend. Go and get some lemon tea into you or something like that. Rest up. Oh, you poor thing. We will catch up with you next week, and hopefully by then you'll be on the other side of the Rona.
Oh, we're hoping so. Jace. You take care.